Hello, everyone. Thanks for being here. Yay!
No. Yeah,
The notice just popped, so this is a good thing.
it did just pop.
And
And I'm going to put
yes,
my phone on airplane mode because, it's been really dinging a lot throughout the morning and I'm tired of it.
I understand. Zane is here. Hello, Zane,
Hi.
Tarot Toke and Witchery. It's good to see you. And if you see me looking down a little bit, I have my phone right here because there's a slight delay on StreamYard. Regina's Tarot and Wirecraft is here, and of course she is work lurking. So we understand that. Lisa Rhodes, thank you very much for joining us. It's good to see
Aloha.
you. Yes, yes, yes. Ivana Intuitive is here. Hello.
Aloha.
And I am glad people are here joining us. Uh, um, and so this is part of the Laugh and Learn series. And this, my lovely guest is Medium Betsy Palmer. And we're today talking about psychic hygiene. So, psychic hygiene, and all of Betsy's links are below. So, please go over there and do that. And what do you have coming up next on your channel?
Next on my channel will be Psychic Sisters First Fridays live mini readings and fun chat.
Excellent. Beautiful.
How about
Beautiful.
you? I know you've got so much. It's hard to list everything.
Well, I've got a lot of stuff coming, and one of the things on Monday is Long Stash, where we're doing our Samhain readings, and I only put 2 p.m. Eastern because the UK falls back this week.
Oh.
And this is Richie Longman Tarot and I are doing readings, and we are being joined by Amy of Mystic Rose Tarot.
Oh, sweet.
So it's going to be a great time. I've got a couple of things planned for Sunday, but I don't have that stuff up. And then on Tuesday, Tarot the Stashway, starting the Ace through Tens, the numerology. So there's that. So looking forward to that. Should be a lot of fun.
Yes.
And
I've also Blue Crescent Tarot popped in. Hi.
Hey, Deanne, good to see you. Blue Crescent Tarot, nice to see you. So, okay, so Betsy, Psychic Hygiene. I created some banners, so let's put some banners up. And
put some banners up.
Do you want to start with what does that mean?
What is Psychic Hygiene? Yeah,
what does Psychic Hygiene mean to you? And for those of you in chat, feel free to pop it in.
Feel free to pop it in. Yes, please. Open for discussion.
Yes.
Oh, thank you, Ivana. She said yes.
Thanks,
thank
Ivana.
you so much. I appreciate that. I may be putting something up about this, a related topic that I'm just so perseverating on today. Anyway, focus. Psychic hygiene. What does it mean to me? I'm going first because I'm a Leo.
Yes.
Okay, so this is about boundaries and keeping your space clear from interference. This is about, oh, hey, Patricia Tyree. Aloha. Welcome. Thanks for coming. Hi. She's kind of like a sister-in-law kind of person. Her brother is like a spirit brother of mine. Anyway, hi.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
Wait a minute. I think I could have. Oh, never mind. Sorry. Psychic head is off today. Anyway, psychic hygiene means to me about keeping your space clear, boundaries, and being true to yourself, holding your integrity, your motivations, your intentions in your own space, not leaking out, not letting stuff in. Empaths, right? We pick up a lot of stuff. So this is about setting your boundaries. What about you, sir?
Well, I'm going to, Patricia Tyree came in and Ivana said, clean up the psychic energy. Yes. Cleansing of our energy. Absolutely. Spiritual rain is here. Hello. Good to see you. So for me, psychic hygiene means it's like general hygiene. It's what we do to keep ourselves clean, acceptable levels of hygiene when we go out in public. It specifically relates around my energy and the energy in the environment in which I am. So it's very much similar to what you were saying and what others were saying as well. So psychic hygiene to me includes me and my person. It also includes the tools that I am using and the environment in which I am doing that,
You betcha.
doing different things. So, hi, Naomi. Thank you. And Jonathan is here. Hello, Jonathan Daly. So, for those of you who want to pop in, what does psychic hygiene mean to you? Feel free to do that. It's one of those things. I don't know if I really paid attention to it or how I came to the idea. This term is from you, though. This idea of psychic hygiene is from you.
I wish I could claim it. It's not mine. I stole it off the interweb somewhere. So somebody came up with it, but it's perfect.
Yes. And the first time I heard it was the psychic hygiene. I was aware of energy and energy clearing. I've been doing that for years. I think I became really aware of it as, I think at that book, Clear Your Clutter with Feng Shui. It's an old book, but had some really great ideas. And she talked about how the energy shifted for people.
Yes.
And some people noticed that.
It's literally like the difference between walking into a nice, orderly environment or walking into a space that is completely disheveled.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, and we pop this in there and I love this idea oops, I lost my comments. There we go. And I sort of started with this. I hadn't considered it before. Until recently when I became aware of those different books and I became more aware of the energy that is around me. Apparently, I've been good at clearing spaces just by coming into an environment. And for the last 10 years or so of my career, I went to different locations and helped. And so I was very good at clearing the space and lifting the vibration, changing the energy. And that for me was part of that was because that's what I was doing. If I felt, ugh, yeah, that's a technical term.
Absolutely. Yes.
I would do something to clean off me, and then others were impacted by it. So, Deanne said, I agree. For me, it has a lot to do with seeping, like Betsy was talking about, and about the objects and spaces, like Gerald was saying. I'd say I work on all of those things. Yes.
Excellent.
Jonathan said, psychic hygiene, not holding on to energy that's not mine, and making sure the energy shields are solid. I have that book, Gerald. It's a great one, and I'm in the midst of applying it. The advice in it, great, Spiritual Rain. I'd love to know how that's going. Yes, being mindful of that energy seepage. So, but what about you?
So full disclaimer, I knew nothing about the importance of grounding. I didn't understand it until I was in my early 50s. And then I started playing with it and I was like, oh, this is different. And it was because I wanted to start a path of integrity. I wanted my actions to match the things I said I wanted. I didn't have hope of closing down my brain and stopping the twirl. I was a high anxiety person my whole life, did a lot of mental twirling. I had no hope of really changing that, but I just wanted my actions to match my words. That was my purpose. And so then I started playing around with grounding a little bit, and I noticed how much stronger I felt. And it seemed my energy level was maintaining a little bit better. Before the chat, I told Gerald, throughout my whole life, I've been on this path with psychic development, and I would get into it and I would practice for a while and stick with it. And then I would exhaust and burn out and quit and walk away, go back to the third dimension. And I cycled through this over and over and over again. And it was not until I learned about grounding and started incorporating that into my regular lifestyle that I've been able to maintain enough energy level to do the work.
Yes.
So yeah, it is about me personally. It's about my home, my space, my vehicle, and work environment as much as possible. I'm very lucky where I am now that we've incorporated a lot of this kind of stuff at my work site. Not everybody can.
That.
Yeah, not everybody can. You should have seen me at Ace Hardware last week with a miniature straw broom with a black handle at the checkout. The checker goes, I didn't even know we had this. A witch broom, right? And I went, yes.
It's just for the holidays. Soda Pop, we are not doing readings today. Today we are talking about the idea of psychic hygiene. So not today. Join me next Monday for readings.
If you have a question about that, what is it? Please pop it in the chat.
Definitely.
So, and why is psychic hygiene important? For me as a channel and a medium that receives information that I like to pass on, we all think it being up here is great. This is where it's all coming from. Well, that's where it comes from. But the ability is your intuition is within your body. They call it follow your gut instincts for a reason, right?
Yes.
Grounding gets you in your body, and keeping your space clear allows you to for my belief is it allows you to be a more direct channel to communicate with the beings that you really want to communicate with.
Yes. And for me, it's important also because when my environment is cluttered, it is a reflection of how I am as a spiritual being and as a physical being. If my physical environment is cluttered, it usually is an indication that my spiritual space is cluttered as well. So Spiritual Rain said, Betsy, I feel like that cycle, that feels like the cycle I have been on, and I've been working on genuine consistency for my daily practices. That's beautiful.
Yeah, well, that's wonderful. Just be gentle with yourself. It's a process. It's not something that just all of a sudden you wake up and it's all kumbaya.
Deanne, Blue Crescent Terra said, my boss used to say, time to reground, you're flying away. I think that's true. And Soda Pop said, I don't necessarily get gut feelings, but I get chills, goosebumps a lot. Someone told me that this is a confirmation of truth. What do you think? Go ahead, Betsy. It's just like...
When I am on track with something that is so spot on, the chills will start at my ankles and work their way up my legs. And And
I would say Soda Pop, I would test that. Note when that starts to happen and what's going on, and make note of what you're thinking, and then verify that later. It can be a great confirmation.
Absolutely. And I'm still to this day reminding myself to slow down and check in with physical sensations or things that are coming. If I'm in a reading and all of a sudden I have a place in my back that I feel a little stab, instead of brushing it off like, boy, that's inconvenient right now. Now I inquire, what's going on? What attention does this need? So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Purple Elephant Deb H shares something. I tend to get tears instead of chills. And that, I am so glad you said that, because each of us is a unique individual, and we need to when we pay attention to what we are being given as an indication, and we honor that, we empower it, we give it more power, so it's much more invigorating. So did that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I had an argument with my guides. Okay, if we're going public, which they insisted, if we're going public, y'all are going to have to change things up a little bit, because nobody gives their money to come and see the crying psychic. This has got to change.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There are times when, for me, that I get connected, and the message that I'm getting is an emotional message, and it will come across as tears. And so part of my psychic hygiene is to say out loud what I'm experiencing. So this is a very emotional reading. I'm getting a lot of emotions, and I think that that's an important aspect of it as well. So for me, that psychic hygiene is knowing when it comes up, and is it mine or is it someone else's that I have been given the honor and the privilege to share and communicate. And as Jonathan mentioned earlier, what's mine is mine, and what's yours is yours, and I need to pay attention to that. So and their love is so strong, what else can you do but cry?
Sometimes, yes. Yeah. Sometimes still, yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. And one of the things, Jonathan said something, he talks about shields. Do you use shields? Or that term?
I use bubbles.
Okay. Say a little bit more about that. I'm curious about that. Because bubbles, we're talking about psychic hygiene. Hygiene includes cleansing. It can be soap. It can be whatever. You use bubbles. I love that. So do share if you don't mind.
I do. Well, I learned this, gosh, I guess I started learning this one in the 70s, when you enclose yourself in a big bubble. And it can be any color you want it to be, and it wraps around your whole being, so it's your protective bubble. That was what I learned way back when. And I played around with mirrors and shields, but to me, that one takes more effort for me. I don't know why, because it feels like I'm physically holding something or arming something, or on the lookout for something. So for me, a bubble works that I can just bounce around in my little bubble.
Mm-hmm. I'm writing this down because in Magic Tool Talk that I've done with Chris Yao and several others, Zane, if he is here, he's been in some of those as well. I'd like to do one about shielding and how we do shielding, and I want to invite you to that. I want to contact Chris as well, because we have 3 different perspectives.
Jonathan said he says shields, but he often sees them as bubbles or egg-shaped. Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's get caught up. Terry Lee is here, Pure Visionary Psychic
Terry
Medium.
Lee.
And I'm glad to see you here. And Terry Lee, if you have an idea about psychic hygiene, pop it in. We'd love to see it. Hella Lizzie said, I'm not particularly psychic. I do get a chill running down my spine when the cards really hit on the mark. Then maybe you need to broaden your definition of psychic. Just saying, Hella Lizzie. Love ya.
Where's my fan when I need it?
I see you, Calla Lizzie. Well, but that's actually, it's a very important point, I think, is because if we don't think we're psychic, then why do I need to worry about psychic hygiene?
Well,
And
and if it's something that doesn't feel, if you don't feel particularly called to it,
mhm.
that's fine. You know, we all
Yeah,
have our
yeah,
strengths. If it's
yeah,
something that you don't really feel like you want to go to or learn more about, hey, that's great. You know,
absolutely. Hi, Kiba. Um, Purple Elephant Deb H does bubbles too, and let's see. Deanne says a white arc, light arc. Thank
nice.
you. I like this necklace as well. Uh, Julie Kushia Watts is actually hashtag
Knit
knit
lurking.
working. I love it. Are you working on another beautiful shawl? And you can just send it psychically. We'll get it. So I would love to see one on shielding. Great.
Oh,
Okay.
hi, hon. Jen Signs to Soul popped in. Hi there.
I'm still working on cleaning up my limiting beliefs. Miss Charlotte, the fact that you are working on it is beautiful because simply by saying that, I'm going to put that up there again. In my opinion, this is for entertainment purposes only. Gerald is only saying this. I think by saying that you are working on your limiting beliefs, you're really taking the power back and you're broadening. It's beautiful. So,
Yeah.
yes,
And it means
kiss
you're
back.
playing with it. You know, what is a limiting belief? What is it about any particular anything?
Exactly.
What, yeah. Eh, eh.
Exactly. And there is Jen. Jen Signs to Soul, Terror, and Transformation. It's lovely to see you. This is a good week. I should play the lottery because I saw Jen yesterday. I'm seeing her today.
Yeah, yeah.
And if that is anything, and if I win the lottery, if I play and I win, I will say it publicly. I will send Jen some money. Please note that I did not include the amount. So
There we go.
don't say you're not something. If you do, someone will prove to you that you are that thing.
Isn't that
Ooh.
mirroring, right? Isn't that the truth?
I'm like going, there you go. And
First time here, Angela Marie, welcome.
okay, Ms. Tarot D is not feeling well today. Hope you're
Oh,
feeling well. I sent you a message. So, and yeah, Angela Marie, hello. First time here. Found your channel of the day, Gerald. I find I have to meditate to cleanse at the end of the day as I absorb so much other energy. Angela, that's beautiful. And actually, that relates to something that I want to talk about. Some of the daily rituals that we do. So, and by the way,
this one of
oh,
my things, so I don't absorb from other people. Purple jade works for me.
nice.
Whatever works
Is
for
that a
you.
bracelet? Is that a bracelet?
Yes,
That's nice. And it's an accessory as well. So
it
there you
is.
go.
Yes, purple jade
There you go.
is apparently a power stone for empaths. That it helps you keep your stuff in you and not absorbing other stuff all the time. At least that works for me. There's lots of things that work for other people differently.
Well, and I want to say we brought up a crystal. You brought up a stone. I know Terry Lee uses I believe it is a lapis lazuli heart when she's doing readings, and that's a great way for her to ground. So when I think about psychic cleansing, I think about when I just need to slough some of this stuff off. And it's stuff that I can do actually myself in my head, but then I can do things. Oh, it's a labradorite. Okay, thank you. And I showed this to Betsy when we were. I just picked up this. I picked up 2 slabs of hematite, or no, excuse me, of
The other one, selenite.
selenite. Thank you. I'm going to take a drink.
Here we
because
go.
I'm like going, "Whew."
Lots of energy today, guys. If anybody was on Jonathan and my live, you already know that.
Yeah. So, so I actually, when I was working, I took crystals. I charged crystals in the morning with the incense that I lit as part of my morning ritual. And I use those to charge it was just a pocket full of small crystals. And it was great because I could actually pull out those crystals and put them in my hands, and it could actually work very nicely to help me just slough it off. So anyhow, these are going. I specifically got these to sandwich tarot decks in to help cleanse them.
I love
So,
that idea. My God, I
so
love that idea. I'm going to look when we're off of here in a little while today. I'll be on Amazon looking for those.
good luck. Good luck. Okay. Side note: you look great in dark blue. Thank you.
Yes, you do.
I use a thick palm stone labradorite to dump negative, chaotic energies into before doing anything. Very helpful. You almost said sodalite. Maybe you need that too. Sodalite actually makes sense for me because it's a creative stone, and I'm starting to work on some creative projects. Hashtag stay tuned. Hashtag like and subscribe, etc. Sometimes place amethyst on my forehead in the evening to ease my thoughts. Mm-hmm.
Wow. Gorgeous.
Yes, sodalite does that. Jonathan said I also use black moonstone, mookaite, and lava stone for grounding. Yes. Yes. Okay.
Lots of great things on grounding. So here's something I feel like I'd just like to pop in at this point about
Yes.
psychic hygiene. Since we're talking about tools we use to help us decompress, help us cleanse. For me, water, ocean, shower, wash it all away, literally.
Mm-hmm.
So when we feel like we need that, instead of always working on the back end of it, over time, I try and be more aware of beginning at the front end of it. And this is what the psychic hygiene is so helpful for, to set your boundaries energetically before going out, to hold your shields in place. So when you come home or when the situation is finished, haven't absorbed so much of everybody else's stuff that you're feeling depleted or overwhelmed. I think this goes a long way into helping us not only just on our day-to-day three-dimensional actions, but also psychically. If you're not constantly absorbing other people's stuff, if you're able to maintain your own space a little bit, even a little bit, better, longer, stronger, you just end up feeling so much better. What a difference it makes.
Yes, I think you are absolutely right. I'm going to get caught up in chat, and then I want to talk about some of the daily rituals that we do to help, because I am a firm believer an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. So what can we do? What routines can we set up? Tony, Antoinette, Intuitive Tarot and Jewelry, just catching up. I like to zorb around in my bubbles like Glinda, of course.
Love that.
Water is a good one. Before, after, it always helps. Jonathan does throw himself into the ocean. And it's salt. So salt water is really good for that. Spiritual Rain says, every morning I wake up and go out into my woods and sing out loud, good morning from singing in the rain. Then I talk to my kids, pets, and give thanks for my blessings. Grounds me first thing. That is beautiful. And let me tell you, I would totally love to be a fly on the wall as your children are hearing this and seeing it, because you are making it okay for them to do a similar thing. Love that. Calla Lizzie said it is especially helpful for people with a lot of water in their charts. Looking at you, Gerald. I know. I'm all water,
And
apparently.
let me answer Patricia's question to Jonathan. Pele doesn't get upset with the use of the lava rock. Pele believes the lava rocks are her children, so she gets upset if you remove them from their home, which means take them off the island.
And we all remember that from the Brady Bunch movie.
The Brady Bunch. That was
TV
the
show.
tiki. Yeah, some tiki.
Yes,
But,
yes.
Pele is one of our most precious goddesses out here. So if you're okay in Pele's world, if she agrees to work with you, then the lava rocks number one way.
Yeah. Wow. Michelle Marie is here. Happy eclipse season, everybody. This is Astrological Tarot, and I am going to be on Astrological Tarot's channel doing live readings in a couple 3 weeks on a Wednesday. Stay tuned, like and subscribe. You'll see that. So,
Cool.
yes. Okay. So, here you go. What daily rituals do you use to keep yourself clear and clean? And I'm looking at you in chat. And for those of you who are watching this back on replay, I would love to hear, because when we learn from each other, I think it's a really powerful opportunity. So
Absolutely. Gerald, I think you need to go first on this one, because I think
do.
What I would add would pale in comparison, because I think you have a lot stronger mojo on this one.
Well, thank you. Every morning when I take a shower, I do something that is, you can search for it on YouTube. It's by Donna Eden, and she is the author of Energy Medicine.
Oh.
And it's called the Zip Up. ZIPUP. And I think I can't scan it in. So, but you could look up Donna Eden Energy Medicine or Donna Eden Zip Up, and she talks about, for like 5 minutes at least once a day, she does this. She does this routine, and it helps her energies all line up. And it is essentially what I'm doing is you are lining up your chakras from the root chakra all the way up. And I learned about this probably about 12 years ago, and I've been doing it ever since. And hashtag I am an overachiever. And when I am in the shower, I like to do it in the shower, because that way I actually unzip first and then allow the water to flow out. And I'm not going to tell you what I say, but I also have some energy that I put it around that. And then I do my whole shower routine. And the last thing I do before getting out of the shower is I do the zip up from the root chakra to the crown chakra. And I just see everything sitting up straight, getting all aligned. And I actually do it front and back to the water flowing. So.
All right. I'm looking that one up.
It's really, really powerful. Really, really powerful. Let me get caught up in chat, because people are sharing a whole wonderful bunch of stuff. A bunch of fresh eucalyptus in my shower for cleansing and protection is good.
That sounds absolutely wonderful.
Yes. I use salt water for my wound care, saline. Could I increase the healing properties for my patients? Naomi, this is for entertainment purposes only. Do not do anything based upon what we say. Seek professional assistance. I would say, if you're doing something like that with intent, and you recognizing the beauty of salt as a healing tool, I think the answer is a solid yes. And keep it quiet. Don't tell anybody, because therein lies some of the magic. So, well, and you're going out into the ocean, salt water. So lucky you.
Yes.
Calla Lizzie said sage and meditation. Yes. Patricia said, Betsy, thank you for answering. I knew about the removal, wasn't sure about the ritual.
Yeah.
So, and Jonathan does work with Pele. Zip up. I was just reading about that. Someone told me about it on Kelly's Live the other day. It's a really good thing. And let me tell you, I do that when I'm in the shower, but I also do that before I go into a situation that may be a bit overwhelming. So when I'm going into an environment where I'm going to be doing a lot of readings, I actually go outside, I ground, I breathe, I zip up, and it just says go. It's like boom, okay. So okay, black tourmaline and surrounding myself with light and bubbles work for me as well. That's great. I love this idea of bubbles. What a great ritual, Gerald. Astrological Tarot said. My husband and I do energy work every morning as well. Asanas and I'm going to mispronounce it.
Pranayama, it looks like. That's
okay.
Cool.
Yeah, and everybody look that up. If somebody can find it and one of my mods can post it in there, that would be great. There's Donna Eden, Zip Up, and it's great. Soda Pop said, I used to have a really hard time going in public spaces. I found out that it wasn't even anxiety, it was more me taking on the energy of everyone.
Girl, you're an empath. There's a book for that. It's called You Are Gifted on Amazon.
Link listed below. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I teach a workshop on psychic development, but this whole thing about empaths taking on stuff is a big part of my work because if you grew up in a family and you had a role in which you processed the feelings for the people around you, you were not allowed to have self-care. And this is why we go out in the world and we take on everybody else's stuff. It's a volunteer position now. You no longer have to continue that. You can change it.
You heard it here first, people. Get the book. Boom. So, okay. Eucalyptus. Now I want some eucalyptus around.
When I lived up country, I used to just drive 10 minutes up the hill, cut down some boughs of eucalyptus, and I would tie them in swags over the doors around the house. In the holidays, the whole house smelled like eucalyptus. I miss that.
Yes. And Purple Elephant Deb H said, I send an energetic light from my heart center to the earth's core, back to my heart center, then up to source and back again. So there's an exchange of energies through all my chakras. I love that.
That sounds a lot like what I do. Yeah.
Yes. If anybody's been in a live with you and you've done that grounding exercise, it's beautiful. Spiritual Rain says, I try to test my senses each day to help with intuition. Like I'll keep my eyes closed and try to focus on a sound or smell.
Excellent. Good job.
And Jonathan said, one thing I do to cleanse and seal my energy is a walking meditation barefoot on the earth. Okay, thank you, Jonathan. This is the thing that I couldn't say.
Pranayama.
I feel like most people aren't empaths, at least the people I know, LOL, right now. You're in the environment with a whole bunch of
They don't need to be an empath. You're taking on all their crap for them. What motivation do they have to change that? You're doing all their energetic work for them.
Angela Marie said, I didn't realize I was drawn to being a social worker due to being an empath until my 40s. I'll have to check out your classes.
Well, they're not really classes. It's the workbook for the classes. I haven't figured out how to do it online. I'm so bad with all this.
Okay, stop. You are figuring out how to put it online and make it available to more people.
There we go. I need help to get it going, the workshops going online. There we go.
So anybody who's watching this, contact Medium Betsy Palmer if
If
you would like a project to do.
if you know how to run a Zoom workshop, let me know.
So that I can do. Um, okay, it's doing breath work. If any of my mods can put in Donna Eden's zip up technique, I would love that.
Sweet.
One of the things that I also do, Betsy, is I light a candle regularly as part of my morning routine, and I say something magical with it as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also, when I'm feeling I need an extra boost, I burn bay leaves with intention. Sometimes I write on the bay leaves with a marker exactly what I'm looking for or what I need help with. And I can do some scrying with either the smoke or the bay leaves as they go. So
This is the second time you've told me about the bay leaf thing. I'm putting it on my grocery list right now, so pardon me.
okay. And you and I need to have a conversation about how to work with bay leaves.
Yes. I'm fascinated by it. It was the herb my mom put in everything. I'm totally fascinated now about this.
Okay. And Spiritual Rain said, thanks for saying that about empaths, Betsy. I know that's me, people pleasing, etc., working on self care. But my gosh, it's hard to break that people pleasing habit. So ingrained in me. And you're making the difference. You're doing it differently.
Yeah. Well, you're considering changing it now. So you're already on your way.
Jen, it looks like Calla Lizzie found it. So there is the zip up from Donna Eden.
Oh, yay.
So that's beautiful. Thank you. Penelope is here.
Wait a minute. Jonathan, would you grab that link and messenger it to me, please? So I don't lose it. Oh, hey, sis. That's my sis. First Fridays, Psychic Sisters. That's my sis. She's an animal communicator.
Yes. So those are some of the things that I do on a daily rituals to help me be aware of what I have. I also do a weekly thing to where I have a deity that is Jeffrey and I have deity all around our house. We have a couple of goddesses who are over our hearth and home, and then I have a deity that is over the property and the doorways. And so either daily for the goddesses or weekly, I put offerings for them in appreciation for their work. So it's an ongoing thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I feel I'm talking a whole lot. So what are some of the things that you do, Betsy, on the daily to help you?
On the daily, I really enjoy getting up early in the morning and having at least an hour or preferably 2 hours to just kind of be. I will have my inspiring beverage, coffee, and sometimes I will get channeled messages from my journal. I do a lot of journaling that time of day, and I just ask myself where I am, and I'm lucky in that my space is really well protected, and I don't have to work hard to maintain an elevated energy level in my home space. I'm very lucky with that. It's not always been that way. So this one, just by my moon stuff, my full moon and new moon stuff twice a month, if I get that done twice a month, that seems to work pretty good to maintain my house energy. But I am not above doing something to work on my house energy, which that to me is kind of part of your daily maintenance, being aware of how it feels in your home and if adjustments need to be made. For that, I use crystals, I use oils, I use brooms, I have bells on my doors. So that can be a number of things. So as I prepare to go out into the world, I try and quiet my mind while I'm getting ready, just kind of be in the moment, not think about too much, and when I do get out to my destination, or let's say when I do get to work, I work in a retail spot. I have quite a bit of setup to do. I get everything set up and then light a candle. I say hello to my crystals. I jot my essential oil around the place. And then I take a moment to fill up with golden light, run that through me, grounding and centering. And I'm thanking my spiritual team. I'm thanking our resident spirits that keep watch over this retail space. And I express my gratitude for all of them being with me. And I ask that they stay beside me through the day to help me maintain my integrity through the day. And I ask them to help me bring joy to 3 people in the day. So
that's really powerful. That's great.
Yeah, it kind of keeps me in action instead of reaction, because I grew up just being in constant reactive mode, always tense, always waiting, constantly reacting. So yeah, if it sounds like I'm thinking about myself and what this brings for me all the time, it's my attempt to stay in an integrity of action mode.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. So I think daily rituals are really very important, because as I've talked about this before on the channel, the more you do something in the same way, you build up energy with it. And so every time you've said that prayer in the morning while you light a candle or burn a bay leaf or walk out the door, you are bringing all of those days of power behind that. So that is really, really amazing.
There's just Patricia, so much going on in the chat. It's great.
Yes, this is amazing, and
fun show.
Yeah, it's so great. And so I am, if I miss something, my apologies. And if you're watching back, please leave a comment. I am working on that. Patricia said I buy my bay leaves on bulk on Amazon. So and trust me, a pound of bay leaves is huge.
A lot of bay leaves, yeah.
So, but I also, in my bathroom where I have one of my primary working altars, I have a jar full of bay leaves because I use them, and they're not in my kitchen because I'm using them more in my bathroom. So Peter J. Watts said, we used iron railroad spikes in each of the 4 corners of and spread salt around our property when we went through an intense psychic attack a number of years ago. That will really, really do it. And that's really powerful.
That'll do it. When I started to read that, I was like, iron, no. Oh, no, wait. Oh, no, now that makes sense. Good job.
Yeah. Yep. Julie Kucha Watt said, Betsy, talked to Amber Ton. She's a wizard at classes, and there's a thing called teachable.com. It has all the stuff.
Yeah, well, if I had any interest in learning it, I think I'd have learned it by now. I honestly just need somebody to do it for me. But Amber's so busy she's developing a whole new program, and she still works full time.
Okay.
So
Betsy, I'm going to put the pause on. You don't know if she's not available to help. Maybe she would make time to help you. One can ask, can't they? Because sometimes you may ask the question that she needs an opportunity to practice with. You can always ask, and she can always say no.
There we go. Okay.
Given with love.
Yes, thank you.
Betsy's like, ugh.
I think we get. Wait, are we all starting to understand that Betsy is not really a fan of online teaching?
Yes.
You know what? I have no love for online marketing. I don't like advertising like that.
Okay. So you don't like marketing.
Yeah.
Because what we're doing, by the way, Betsy, is teaching.
This is different. I love being on camera, but I just don't like online marketing. So
I like what Calla Lizzie said. Get up early in the morning. I'm sorry, I don't understand what that means. So
yeah, well, but I'm also like in bed at 8 o'clock. So
well, of course. Peter J. Watts said, we recently started using burning bay laurel since our plant is 5 feet tall. The
Wow.
smudging smells is like a memory. Yes.
Cool.
Tony, Antoinette, Intuitive, Tarot, and Julie says, I have bells on my keys too. Love wearing ankle chain with bells. Yep.
Mm.
And you are on Maui, correct?
Jonathan and I both. Yeah.
Yep. Playing some 432 hertz cleanse my house.
Ooh, that's a good
So,
idea.
Pamela Batchelor, hello. Meditate every morning. I have peppermint tea with a peppermint seaweed foot soak in the afternoon. Oh, look at that
Ooh,
self-care.
you go.
Wow. I got to up my game.
Jeez, that sounds lovely.
Yeah. We have good dryads here, though. Peter, the spikes aren't keeping out what is already living here. True. And Peter, when you did that, did you have to first do a ritual to get all the negative psychic stuff out? So we'll let you.
We're just not sealing it in. Good point.
Yeah. And Peter J. Watts said our land guardians are especially powerful.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at my notes, and when I think about the daily rituals, those daily rituals grow and expand over time and in the environments that we are. Whether it's if for me, when I would change work locations, I set up new rituals and I followed my intuition with them.
Yeah, I would
I
agree with that.
Yeah, I think it's really very important. I'm just sort of going through my notes, and Betsy, you have a message that you need to give to somebody sometime,
Oh
don't you?
yeah. Yeah,
So,
oh, this is awesome. Okay. Thank you, Gerald. Yeah, this morning I was given the very strong indication to talk about for those of us that are sensitive to non-physical beings, what's your comfort level with that? And do you embrace that? Do you go to it, or do you try and keep it a distance from you? So what my guides had described to me today is think about it like you were in high school and you were in track. Your coach would watch what you're doing. If you were quick off the blocks, you ran really quick and tired fast, he's not going to put you in long distance, is he? No, they are going to train you to hone those sprinting abilities. So the same thing goes with our spirit teams. They recognize our talents, they hone our abilities in a direction. So I bring this up because when I was little, surrounded by non-physical beings, I thought they were monsters. I was terrified, did not know I'm surrounded by the love and light troop. Some people are surrounded by different kinds of entities. And if this is something that's not comfortable for you, that you want to keep at a distance, my direction today was to ask you or invite you to read up on it, to learn about it. If there's a reason why these things are coming to you, pretending you can keep them away is not going to happen because they're already here. Read up, bone up, research, Google, do whatever you need to understand what is coming to you as much as possible, what resonates for you is the truth. And that path will lead you to ways to manage your life with this around you, because I think they're there because you have a particular gift. You can help these things cross, you can help transmute the energies, you can help other people that are getting them too, that are getting energetic attacks or whatever, that you have a latent ability there that you may or may not understand yet. Psychic hygiene will help you strengthen your own, not only your own abilities and help you maintain your energy levels, but also you will feel protected and cared for and supported by the universe. So if anybody is got entities around them that they're have any kind of concerns about, to practice psychic hygiene and ask to be shown what it is you need to know.
I also think with something like that, Betsy, is they're already there. So it's like when you're driving in a car and the windshield is dusty, and I think Psychic Hygiene as taking the squeegee and clearing that so you can see clearly, because what may appear as a darker may not be darker. It's just where you are. So there's something to consider there.
Yeah.
So.
When I was a kid, I thought the beings around me were monsters. They are not. They are just, I mean, I get everything from angelic realm to extraterrestrials to everybody's aunts, uncles, mothers, fathers, grandparents. You know, everything comes through. And I actually don't get the dark stuff.
Yes.
I don't. It's because that's not where my strength lies. It's not the work my guides want me to be doing. So your guides are with you. There's some, you can help them further the planet in its journey by understanding the abilities that you already possess.
Yes. Yes. And yes, Soda Pop, Jonathan and Betsy did a live a couple of months ago together. They used to meet up a lot, correct?
Oh yeah. We were on just 2 hours ago on our once a month live. But yes, we are friends here. We live pretty close to each other. We don't get to see each other all that often, but yeah, we've been friends for a while.
Yeah. So in that, when thinking about that idea of psychic hygiene is when I'm feeling overwhelmed and I need to do something immediately, like washing my hands. I think it's important to go wash your hands and use soap and water and wash your hands, because doctors and healthcare professionals wash their hands a lot. That's how you keep yourself and others healthy and avoid catching something that's not yours. Washing your hands is a great thing to do. I know people who, in between tarot card readings, they would wash their hands.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
So
that's really good advice.
Yeah.
Really good advice.
Jeffrey and I were talking about, Jeffrey, my husband, and I were talking about this morning, and he said, yeah, he said to me, I wish you would do a little cleansing before you're doing so many readings back to back online. And I went, oh, because I typically don't. And some people, they knock on their cards.
Yeah,
I've never done that. I've seen it, and it's just been the last probably 3 or 4 months that I've seen people doing it, and I've never thought of that before. I do shuffle.
You've got your selenite blocks. Just
yes.
Put that deck right on.
Yeah. Well, and I do, for me, as a shuffling actually helps me cleanse that energy out, and I think it's a good piece of advice when somebody who knows you well suggests something, and perhaps a nice cleansing breath will take care of that also. So
yeah, there's no limitation on what works. There is no right or wrong. Everybody's path is truly uniquely their own. Don't let anybody tell you, oh, you're doing that wrong. Oh, well, I've been doing this for years. It seemed fine. Oh no, yeah, don't buy into it.
Yes. So I other things do you have things that when you're feeling that you need a psychic cleansing or to adjust your psychic hygiene, what are you doing?
The first thing I try to remember to do is to ask, does this belong to me? Is this mine? Empaths are great at absorbing everybody else's stuff. Happens all the time. Again. So that's the first thing I do. Is this mine? Then I will ask, what is it? Do I need to know what it is? Sometimes I don't need to know what it is. I will just go smell something. An essential oil usually works for me, and I will just intuitively go to whatever pops to mind. Drinking peppermint tea is a good one for me. Taking a shower is a good one for me. Or sometimes just actually zoning out, just letting myself pop on YouTube.
Oh, nice.
just put on something that's kind of gibberish so my mind will completely disconnect. That will work for me too. Yeah, colors, aromas. I try to steer away from foods because comfort eating is just too easy to fall into.
Yeah. I've never comfort eaten at all in my
Yeah.
entire life.
Well, I
No
know we
one
joke about
believes
this
me.
all the time. Like we do joke about it all the time. Just before we came on, I after Jonathan's, I told Jonathan, I said, man, I gotta go. Love to stay and talk. Gotta go. I gotta eat. So I ate I ate an egg and a piece of toast, and then I had to have candy. So just
There you go.
yeah.
There you
So
go.
absolutely, and sometimes there's nothing like a half a pint of Ben and Jerry to ground me. I know.
Yes, you're right. I also think for me, when I'm feeling that need in my daily life for some reason that I need to take care of, my psychic space, sometimes rearranging my body or getting up and moving around is enough to shift that energy. I can slough it off. Physically moving, if I've been sitting too long, it really helps.
Yeah.
I will sometimes imagine that I'm actually cleaning, that I'm taking a shower and I'm cleaning myself. I
Ooh.
recently found some soap that is Florida water soap. So,
People talk about that all the time. Florida water, yeah.
that's helpful. But if holding crystals in my hands will allow that to recycle. Going out and grounding will help. Hashtag watch that, laugh and learn about grounding. I've also learned recently is to pound the back of my neck a couple of times where my head meets. And my madrina has told me that if I'm getting a lot of information and it's not welcome, but to do this over my head 3 times just to disrupt that.
Oh.
So, and going into any environment where there might be a lot of information, a lot of downloads, a white head covering is extremely helpful.
Oh.
So sometimes you'll see people wearing head coverings. Sometimes I'll wear a hat, and it's like putting on a bit of armor.
I love that.
So Calla Lizzie said, I live at the beach, so if I just walk on the beach, it clears my head pretty quickly. Yes.
You betcha.
Chocolate is very grounding. Soda Pop, what's your favorite? Ben and Jerry's. Yes.
Yeah, it's
all of them.
that's
The one that's
mine
available.
Too. That's what I wanted to say too, was yes.
Yes. Coffee is very grounding as well.
Not for me. Not anymore.
Okay. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
that one I just I'm getting older, so it doesn't work. Caffeine doesn't work as well for me anymore, as much as I love it.
Yeah. And the
honestly, for me, the number one thing is aroma. I mean, I can shift so fast with just smelling something.
Mm-hmm. And Miss Charlotte said, I kiss my puppy.
Mm.
So I love that. And so rearranging the body, but also if I'm doing readings, I will actually rearrange my environment. I'll switch places. I'll rearrange the stuff. I will actually take the tablecloth off, go outside, move it around. So those are some things that I do when I'm feeling the need just to hygiene it up. So
yeah, I'll sniff something, and if that doesn't do the trick, then I'll go through my grounding and centering and say my clearing prayer, and that usually gets me through.
Mm-hmm. Jonathan said I was trained in medical qigong, and I use some of that technique to cleanse my energy. Absolutely. Purple Elephant Deb H says you can brush off energy too. Literally, take your hands and make a brush off motion with your on your arm. I do that when I start absorbing someone else's energy. Very nice. Very nice. So,
And
So,
what's really cool about this, as you play around with psychic hygiene more and more, it's interesting that the people that formerly would have been triggering personalities for you aren't really attracted to you anymore. I mean, interesting. There's times in my life when people would be around me, um, wanting to be in my sphere or wanting to get my attention, and the kinds of personalities that would send me off just over the edge very quickly, or would really play into old patterned behavior of mine, just going through that loop of the same
I
people
love
over and
that.
over again. Getting more true to myself and into integrity and maintaining psychic hygiene more on my own, for my own self, those people aren't really attracted to me anymore.
I like that. And Miss Charlotte says, Taylor Swift says, shake it off, which brings up another really good thing. Movement, music, laughter are all of the things that just can dissipate the things that may be trying to, I'm going to use the word glob onto us and make us feel icky. And if you feel icky, then do something with it. And if you're starting to feel icky and you haven't done anything with it, and you notice it when you get home and you're quiet, then that's the time you need to do it. Don't feel like, oh, I should have taken care of this. No, don't do that. You notice it now. And when you notice it, you can do something about it.
Yeah.
Because,
Yeah.
I mean,
Noticing is wonderful, isn't it? Because
it really is, Betsy.
It's a moment of opportunity.
It is a moment of opportunity, and it is the moment of opportunity that is present. And then it can influence the next things that are happening. So I think that's really, really powerful. Do you have, I'm looking at my notes before we start finishing up. So incense, candles, prayers are all things that are good to help keep your psychic hygiene good. And I know people who they do a prayer every time they start doing readings. I mean, they can do back-to-back readings, but they do some short prayer just to empty it off. So, what were you going to say?
Yeah, that one works for me. I do grounding, centering, and clearing prayer with every client. I do it while they're with me every single time.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I like that.
And just, I know this is going to sound remedial, but if anybody does not have an altar at home, time for your altar. And it doesn't have to be anything, no big deal. It can be a little something, just something that you can look at and say to your spiritual team, thank you so much for being with me. I appreciate you. I love you. Thank you for this day. Thank you for another opportunity to go out into the universe and demonstrate the type of person I want to be recognized as.
I love that. That's so powerful. Leanda is here. Hello, Liminal Lark.
Hi.
Yeah, playing the soundtrack to Hamilton works pretty well. There are lots of ways that you can make a playlist. You remember when we used to mix a tape? Mix a cassette tape? For those of you who are young, there used to be these little tapes. They were called cassette tapes, and you would record sound on them. And then you could play them, and you could string different things. So,
yeah. Saying. Yeah. Oh, the technology.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Does anybody have any questions as we're getting down to the wire here? This has been a wonderful
so
chat.
Good, yes. Yeah, mixtapes for the win.
Yeah. And, if anybody feels psychically attacked or continually energetically drained, that has not incorporated some type of cleansing rituals or boundary setting or shielding or bubbles, if there's anybody that's experiencing any kind of energetic attack, try it.
Mm-hmm.
And just see it may make a difference. It may not, but I have encountered on doing my work people that feel like they're being attacked by things a lot. And I hate to say it, but I gotta say it. none of them are doing any kind of grounding, centering kinds of
Mhm.
rituals. No cleansing.
Hi, Coyote the Gray.
Howdy.
Soda Pop wants to know your sign if you want to tell Soda Pop.
Leo, 4 planets in Leo: Sun, Moon, Venus, and Uranus, I think.
Are there other planets that are, that aren't in it? I'm kidding. I'm trying to
I
be
know
funny instead. I'm just
it's quite ridiculous, and pretty much all of them. Everything in my chart, you have that whole wheel, and it's like everything is in one place. It's just like there's one thing here, one thing there. Yeah.
Yeah. And I agree with you. I think it's an important thing is the idea of boundaries are really very important. And as I've learned in speaking with you through various laugh and learns and in various conversations, setting boundaries and setting limits is a very, very powerful thing to do.
Very empowering.
And it's very empowering. That's a good word for it. And also recognizing, and don't worry about what you could have done or should have done. Do something now and then go with it. And as you need to, adjust it going forward.
Yeah.
So I think that's a key thing.
I think having the awareness of, I wish I'd done that differently is a step in the right direction instead of just carrying on without ever noticing.
Yes. So I think, I hope people who are watching this live or in the playback take some time to consider psychic hygiene and how it could impact their life. It could be as simple as washing your hands with intention. And as Purple Elephant Deb H said, brushing other people's energy off you, like dusting, that can be really powerful and empowering, as you said. So, are there any last minute questions that people might have for us? Please type them in caps because I don't want to keep you too long, Betsy, because are you going to the beach after this?
No, I'm actually going to make a trip. Oh, it's 11:11 on my sharp alarm clock. I'm going to make a run to town and do some heavy grocery shopping. And so.
There you go.
But I did swim yesterday and I found a nice big wad of garbage. I found a shirt and bye, hen. Mwah. I found a shirt and a handful of probably a dozen hair bungees and a few Band-Aids and a pair of cheap sunglasses. So
there you go. And this is something that you do when you walk. You go through and you're not only cleansing yourself, you're also cleansing the shore and the ocean at the same time.
Yeah.
So Peter J. Watt says, today's discussion was a wonderful reminder to pay attention to our psychic selves. Thanks, Gerald and Betsy. Yep. Thank you. You're very welcome. Thank you, Jonathan. And Betsy, we'll be doing something. I've written down 2 things, shielding and bay leaves.
Gotcha.
So
I'm there.
Okay. So I wish I had a body of water close, Miss Charlotte says. I get it. Calla Lizzie always brings a bag when walking the beach. So.
My favorite is the ocean cleanup. I wear a fanny pack into the ocean so I could just shovel my garbage in there.
I love that. Thanks for being here, Naomi.
Thank you.
Yeah. Soda Pop, I've seen that too. I actually saw somebody once crumple up a bus schedule while she was walking to a crosswalk. And I walked up behind her, picked it up, and I handed it back to her. And I said, "Oh, you dropped this.
Good for
She's
you."
Like, I didn't want it. Then put it in the trash can right over there.
Yeah. I know. It just,
People are crazy. So, everyone, thank you very much for watching this Laugh and Learn. about Psychic Hygiene with Medium Betsy Palmer. All of her links are below. Like and subscribe to her channel and mine. That way you can catch us when we go live. And I wish everybody a good rest of your day and a wonderful week. Especially, this is we're at a new moon, yes.
New moon tonight.
And Michelle Marie, Astrological Tarot, reminded us there's an eclipse, or there was one this morning, or tonight.
Yeah.
There's an eclipse going on, lunar eclipse. So
yeah. Thank you, Gerald, so much for being your typical, wonderful hosting self. Thank you for having me on your channel. It's always such a pleasure to be here, and I really appreciate you.
It's wonderful to be here. I appreciate you too, and everybody, take care. Betsy and I, when we're done here, we're going to set up these two new times. So, all right. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.